All right, we can see you there, Liz. Hello, everybody, and welcome. We are joining you today. Oh, looks like the camera is. Let me see what we're doing here. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us today. We are here at Aware Meditation with Liz Smith from Beyond Thinking in Sydney. We welcome you to our group meditation. If you are here, just put yourself in the chat and let us know. We don't know that you're here unless you say hello. We're going to bring in the session first of all with a few videos about Aware Meditation Inc. Introduce Liz, do a little bit of a meditation, and then we're going to answer some lovely questions. If you have questions about the meditation practice, please pop them in the chat. I will get on to you and answer them for you. But in the meantime, we're going to start cracking with a little video.
When was the last time you had 5 minutes of pure, uninterrupted peace? No thinking about yesterday or worrying about tomorrow, but fully immersed in the present moment, free of your troubles. According to the National Library of Medicine, 90% of doctors' visits are for stress-related health complaints, but even a moderately stressful lifestyle reduces life expectancy. Our modern lifestyles demand increased technological screen time, bombardment of media fear, unpredictable work schedules, fluctuating financial security, that all place additional strain on our nervous systems with little time to rest and restore. Mental clarity depletes, immunity suppresses, and our nervous system suffers. Our newly seemed connected lifestyles have us less connected to the practices of deep rest from our ancestors.
Hello, my name is Paula Newman, founder of Aware Meditation Inc. Vedic Meditation teaches a simple practice that allows the nervous system to go from the fight or flight response to the relaxation state, 20 minutes twice a day, without the use of apps, visualization, hypnosis, or any outside stimulation. It is practiced sitting comfortably and with the use of a mantra allows the mind to go inward very easily and effortlessly. It is designed for regular folk with busy lives and even busier minds.
Okay, I've been practicing Vedic meditation for 24 years, and I honestly can't imagine life without it.
My favorite part about Vedic meditation is the relief and the reprieve I get from my brain. So it just gives me so much rest and just a lot more power in my daily experience of life.
I would highly recommend learning meditation from Paula because she has this very easy, effortless way of teaching.
Aware Meditation Inc. is a unique non-profit organization providing individuals, businesses, and families with practical self-sufficient stress reduction techniques, including Vedic meditation for sustainable mental and physical health wellness worldwide. Our outreach program holds 3 new global initiatives: to teach underrepresented low-income groups of 108 participants per course within their own communities without financial strain. The course is taught over 4 sessions on consecutive days with multiple Vedic meditation teachers in person. We invite you to join us in shifting the current global fight-or-flight mindset. Help us empower all peoples to practice daily sustainable wellness techniques, release stress, sharpen inner listening, and rise out of unhealthy habits and circumstances. United, we can create, inspire, and awaken the capabilities of the human condition in global purpose together.
And that was a brief introduction to Aware Meditation. We're going to do you a quick little, sorry, the screen. We are going to play another little, okay, why? I don't know what's doing this, okay. I guess it doesn't want me to do that right now. So I'm going to introduce our speaker for today. I'm just going to put the video up a bit. Sorry, it got a bit wonky. I can see there, things happen. Our guest today is Liz Smith, and she is located in the outskirts of Sydney, which is just south of Sydney. And she is going to be talking to us a little bit about what brought her to meditation when she came to meditation, her story of how meditation has very much helped her overcoming many hurdles, and also how she made and took the plunge to become a meditation teacher in her later 50s. So it's never too late if you want to change what you'd like to do. It is just gone 8 o'clock in the morning in Sydney. If you are joining us, please sign in to YouTube, or if you're on Facebook or Twitch, please say a little hello, and that way we can check in with you. I see we've got some people here, and we can say hello and answer your questions. So Liz, just give us a little hello.
Hi, everyone. Nice to be here, Paula. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I'm just dealing with a few technical things here, as you can imagine. Let's begin to start our meditation. I'm just gonna get some, just check on some people who might have logged in with us as we are streaming. Please make sure you just pop yourself in the chat so we can hear you while I'm pootling around here. Those of you who are brand new to our meditation practice, I don't understand what this is doing. I don't believe it. Sorry, I'm just trying to share something here. So, oh, I did something else. I hit that by accident. Sorry about that. Liz is coming back. We are going to do a group meditation right now. And how we meditate is very easily and effortlessly. We close our eyes for about 20 minutes. And in the practice of Vedic meditation, we don't actually try to meditate. Now, if you're joining us for the first time, no problem at all, just enjoy these 20 minutes. But I might encourage you to take a leap of faith. And the leap of faith is allow yourself to simply be for 20 minutes. And that means whatever thoughts come through, they come through. If there's judgment, and there will be, because you're a human being, that's how it goes. Simply allow that judgment to move through. Those times that you were looking out the window as a kid daydreaming, and then you got told off for daydreaming, that's the time to do that right now for about 20 minutes and enjoy it, but with your eyes closed. Those of you who are joining us who are Vedic meditation practitioners from around the globe, please participate by having either your morning meditation or your afternoon meditation, or if you're joining us in from the UK, that will be a little last minute meditation for Betty Buys. And we're going to start. You're going to see that I'm sit very, very comfortably, pretty much looking like I'm doing nothing, actually. And that's the actual joy of the meditation practice. And we're going to sit here, and without any further ado, I am just going to get onto this here, do a few technical things so I can answer questions for you. And we are going to get started. So Liz is going to put herself on mute, and we are going to do a meditation. Let's begin. And those of you that do practice Vedic meditation, we're just going to let go of our mantra for a few more minutes with the eyes closed. And those of you who are joining us, enjoying the daydreaming, let us know in a couple of minutes. We're going to slowly bring our bodies back. You may wish to do a little bit of shoulder rolls or stretch the neck from side to side. But I'll let you know when we're all going to open our eyes together. And Jay Gurudev to those who are doing Vedic meditation. And the rest of you, we're just going to slowly open our eyes. Coming back, slowly but surely, of course. Give me a moment here. I'm just going to put on sorry here, I'm just trying to get the chat up here. We got some people here. Hello, I'm gonna say hello to Teresa. Nice to see you. Bill, Magella, Kat. We've got Sangha, Hot Yoga, and for some reason it is not letting me. I'm not quite sure what the chat is doing and why it's being a little hoop-nogginy. Just give me 1 second here. Okay, so those of you, and I'm going to go into the other part of it and see if I can see online. Give me 1 moment. I see that 13 of you right now. Thank you so much, all of you. Jen is here, Kristen, thank you, and Jamie, and Rob is here, Beauty, Debbie is here, brilliant, and we'll just look on the other platforms. So what I'd like to do, if we're going to be able to do this, is talk about a few things that are happening, and we're going to bring, okay. I don't know why this is. Okay, great. So I'm going to show you a little video here of our book, Vedic Meditation Stories. Those of you who are joining us who don't know anything about the practice, this is just a little review of this book that we have, which is the only publication globally right now that has real stories from people who learn the practice. Many of them are from underrepresented groups in the wellness community. And we have a review here from one of the teachers. It's available now on Amazon Kindle free. If you have Kindle where you get like a free ebook a month, it won't cost you a penny.
The book I've been reading today is called Vedic Meditation Stories. It's really the work of Paula Newman and a bunch of other meditators from all around the world. Quite a lot of recovering alcoholics. Some of the amazing stories about, having shot themselves in the head or having used crystal meth all their lives, but also, some more gentle stories and just a real variety of men and women, young and old. Someone learnt to meditate when they were 6, some way in their 60s and 70s. there's some lovely stories in there, and there's a couple of things I wanted to share. One of them was the idea that Vedic meditation, this is someone else's words, that Vedic meditation is attainable and sustainable. I was like, I really like that as a soundbite. I'm going to use that. Thank you, Julie. And there's a beautiful last paragraph by Amelie, just about how it's a rope to hold on to. She just describes it beautifully. I really recommend getting it almost just to read that one paragraph. The whole book has a little introduction of to the practice, to the tradition, to the history, what it is, what it isn't, and then really the main part of it, the body of it. And the thing that I love is reading everybody else's stories. The thing I'm going to leave you with is again something else that someone wrote that I thought that's true for me too. She said, Vedic meditation has relieved me of two pests: hurry and indecision. Isn't that wonderful?
All right, and that can be found. Timmy, I think I'm having a mouse problem. That's what I'm having. That's what it is. We'll say it's that. We'll say Paula's having a mouse problem, shall we? Goodness me. That is one of our lovely teachers who is located in England, and she came and joined us the other month or so. And you can see here, this is exactly where you can get the ebook, Vedic Meditation Stories. You can see that your Kindle no longer, you don't have to buy a Kindle, okay? You can just watch it on your ebook there, and you'll see if, I think it's covered up on my screen. Here it shows it will be 0 because I get one ebook a month, and that's an ebook, and you can purchase that. If you have to pay for it, then just so you know, everything goes towards the non-profit. And right now we're going to tell you about a few things that are going on with Aware Meditation really quickly before we get to Liz. We've got some people catching up in the chat now. Please go ahead and pop in your questions if you have questions for Liz, and we're going to get those formed, and we're going to move over to her. One of the things that we also have as a meditation center, I guess you would say, is we are offering this fabulous workshop that I would really encourage, especially the Vedic meditators who are joining us, and that is something called a creative visualization workshop. And creative visualization has got a kind of a bad rap, and that's because we've got away from the source. It was done way back with the ancient truth of the Vedas, and those of us who do our practice, we get a lot of stress out. We start to cognize or have these bright ideas and these inspirations, and so we have this workshop coming up via Zoom on the 22nd of August. That is at 10 a.m. Pacific time, and you can find that through Eventbrite, and you don't have to be a Vedic meditator to be able to participate. But I'm going to start giving some truths about where the creative visualization really comes from, what it's about, and how we can get that quiet time to be able to listen to that inner voice and our intuition. So all are welcome to join us there. And now at the perfect time, I see that it is 3:33 on my clock, which means you best get going to Liz. I love all these magical numbers. So Liz, if you'd like to take a wee moment and introduce yourself again and tell us about why you looked into Vedic meditation in the first place.
Okay. So I'm Liz. I live in Sydney, South Sydney, and my meditation is Beyond Thinking, Vedic meditation. I came to learn Vedic meditation. I was working with my friend Kim, and her son went to learn, and she went to learn, and I saw the changes that came over her. She became very calm and used to tell me that she was very contented inside. And I thought, I want that. I want that feeling inside. And so I worked in aged care as a community worker. That was my career. And I went along and learnt with Tim Brown, my teacher in Paddington, and I began to feel very different over the months after learning meditation. And just a little side story, my husband, I told him I was going to learn meditation and I was going to get a mantra. And he said, "Oh, I've got one of those." And I found out that he'd learned the same meditation like 20 years before that. So we meditate together, which is really nice. I worked in a very stressful job, and the meditation started to calm me down, and I was able to have different relationships with people. And being in aged care, I was with people from all walks of life, and so, I was able to communicate on a very different level with people, because I sit before I went to work for 20 minutes, and then I'd come home of an evening and I would sit for another 20 minutes. So I did that for a long time. About 12 months after I'd learnt to meditate, my son unfortunately died. He was 29 when he died. I'd been meditating then for a while, and as you can imagine, it was such a devastating and tragic time. He died from an overdose of drugs, and we were told that it was an accidental overdose that he took. And by that I mean that they said he was trying to come off, and he'd given himself too much. And so I had a lot of questions as a mother, and my meditation used to take me on a journey that I would feel very peaceful inside. And after a while, I used to think, there's something wrong with me. Why aren't I, being, in grief and, feeling this terrible loss. And I did on the surface level. I used to think about it all the time after he died. But my inner quietness was so deep that I used to think that there was something wrong. But I was at the same time very, very grateful for it. Throughout those months and, over the years, I've hardly missed any meditation. As one of those speakers said before, you wonder what life would be without it. And I'm certainly one of those people. After my son died, I learnt with my meditation teacher, Tim, who I had a lot of mentoring with over the years. He's taught me that although my son had died, I could still have a relationship with him. And I could do that because in a Vedic worldview, it's the body that goes. It's not the consciousness. So I've always had a connection with him, with my son, and I've felt that love and that compassion, and that deep yearning to see him and feel him and touch him that I had for such a long time. I don't have that any longer. It's been replaced with just a very deep, deep love in my heart, and it will always be there. I think as a mother, that's what we do. It's the deep love that we have that comes through. I've got two beautiful daughters and 3 beautiful grandchildren, and I've always felt that was my role in life, was to be a mother since I was a young girl, and I still feel that. So I'm very grateful to be a grandmother, and I can have my love with them. So I was very hungry for this Vedic knowledge once I started to learn it. And I, after 6 years, had the opportunity to do teacher training to become a Vedic meditation teacher. And Paula and I were together on our teacher training. At that stage, I was 58, and I'd done some study over the years, but I had no idea of what I was getting myself into with the teacher training. But I felt very strongly that I was in the right place and I was doing what I needed to do. So going from a career of being a manager of a service for hundreds of people to a practice of teaching people how to be quiet, how to be relaxed, regardless of what the challenges are, regardless of what happens in your life. It's always that they'll never go away, but it's how we adapt to those situations. And I've always looked forward to sitting and just closing my eyes, because then I'm connected with, the source of who I am and what I am. And then I take that out into my daily life, and meeting people from everywhere. Being able to teach people this practice is, for me, it's been a real gift, and it's sometimes been, very difficult in convincing people, I guess, that this is something that is easy and effortless, because of all the thinking that happens. And the thinking that happens is part of the meditation practice. So, that's my job as a meditation teacher, is to help people to surrender and to just let go of anything that comes up, because it's always going to work itself out. And stress is such a big health issue that creates a lot of problems. So living life in a different way, even with the trauma that I lived through with my son dying, and other things, many other things that have occurred in my lifetime. I've always, since I learned to meditate, had this very quiet part inside of me that I'm able to go to, and that's irreplaceable. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm grateful for my teachers, for Tim and Tom all the time, and other meditation teachers. I've been to India many times, and I've taught in India, and it's been a wonderful life. And I'm just very grateful. And thank you, Paula, for all that you do. It's terrific what your aware meditation is doing, and I totally support it. I'd love to have 108 people to be able to teach this to, and maybe after this we might.
Well, if you build it, it will come, right? So one of the things Liz didn't tell you about is we would be releasing a lot of stress, but also we would have some fun. And I would help Liz once a week write a rap. I don't even know what state it was, and I can't say I was the best mentor, but releasing that much stress also includes some fun time with it as well. So we do have people here who are dialed in who have either themselves dealt with addiction or been around other people and lost people to addiction. So I'm going to ask a few questions in between, reminding everybody, if you can and you're brand new here and Liz has brought you in, it would be wonderful if you could support the channel and hit that subscribe button. We have a series of something called Cosmic Chats, which you are welcome to check out, where I ask mind-bending questions to individuals. And we are expanding that. We have had people from around the globe. We've had people from a diverse section, various races, various countries, different philosophies of life. We've had CEOs, single moms, entertainers have been part of it. And please check that out as well. But we greatly appreciate the subscription because we need to get up to 1,000 to be able to help the nonprofit further. But we want to go back and maybe delve a little bit deeper. And these are subjects that are warranted. In the US, they say the only things that are certain are death and taxes. Well, you don't actually have to pay your taxes, but your body will drop. And as a mum, having a child raised up to 20 plus years, that heartbreak and then the release of that child, let's delve a little bit deeper if we can. When you were meditating and you were dealing with the grief at the beginning, what did you notice was different with your loss versus maybe other people around you who are experiencing it?
Well, I think because I had every day, even after he passed, I would sit to meditate. And I did notice that I was able to participate in everything that was happening, even though it was, tears were flowing and, the anxiousness of, everything, how it was going to work out with on those days afterwards, leading up to his funeral and all of those sorts of things. And at that stage, I was divorced from his dad, so I had all of those other issues to deal with, and that was a very difficult time. But I still felt able to do it, and the strength and courage that I got from inside of me was very it enabled me to continue on. It was an amazing time. Hundreds of people came to his funeral, and that was overwhelming because it was unexpected. And I can still see my teacher, Tim, he came as well. And that was very comforting. But to know that I still had the ability to connect with him on a different level compared to what, my other family members and all of those sorts of things, I knew I had that. And that was I didn't need to have I didn't crumble in a heap, if you like. I was still able to function, still able to eventually go to work and to keep working. So it's it's that knowledge that I had that, I still could connect and have this deep love. And I would be anywhere out in public and the tears would just flow, and that was how it was. So I'm not saying that that I didn't grieve. You have to grieve. You have to go through a process, which I did do. We still, even today, celebrate him and laugh and, tell his jokes and, enjoy that life that he did have here. And his story was, a very interesting one. And I'm very grateful that I was his mum and had had him for the 29 years. And his sisters, they still, we just still love him so much. Yeah.
This is a pressing topic because over the last year and a half, almost, well, be 2 years in February, or let's say a year and a half, then people have experienced a lot of grief. And when people come to meditation, they often think that it's about becoming, I don't know, some sort of robot, right? Not having emotions, not having feelings, this idea of being calm. And really, it's to free our stressors to be authentically who we genuinely are. And in a situation, you talked about just bursting into tears and allowing yourself to have that come through. And the meditation, here we go. Some stuff coming up, and meditation allowing you to be in a place where it could come out easily and effortlessly, and also forgiving yourself if you had some ideas of how you were supposed to be behaving, right? So when we teach this meditation, a big part of it is me having to rewire what people thought meditation was. Right. And it's a practical technique that can be used to help stabilize this nervous system. The Vedic Meditation storybook has stories from recovered addicts and alcoholics, and some of them are exceptionally dramatic. Even an individual who shot themselves in the head and lived, and their doctors pretty much attesting that they're now able to function and have a family. These are years down the line. When other people have observed you dealing with the grief, did they say anything that you could attest was because you took the time to meditate?
I only ever got support to do that, and the change that I was that I had physically and mentally, I know that was very much what people saw in me, and they felt the I guess the compassion that I developed, and the love that I was showing, and I would still have times of, I don't know whether you call it rage or, whatever it was that was still coming out of me for the loss that I had, and being able to, I guess, show people that, it's not an easy time on a human level, but the meditation was the thing that I kept on going back to because of what it was giving me. And people did say, that I was, strong. That was the sort of the words that they always said, and I always showed that, I could cope, I guess, and could handle things. And inside, some days I wouldn't be, I wouldn't be handling things. But I always just sat for 20 minutes, morning and night. I would just keep doing that. And that was what what would bring me through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I want to simply acknowledge all the people who are acknowledging you right now in the chat. Teresa Lou says, thank you, Liz, with prayer hands and flowers. Debbie says, thank you for sharing your story. Those who are at Sankar, they've got to say thank you so much for sharing, and they're truly grateful for you sharing. And Jen sends a big heart to you. If you are in the chat and you want to just send some love to Liz, please put it down there so I can let her know. This is a brave, it's not always about, well, it's never actually about meditation. It's never ever about if you've achieved the third dimensional material matter. That's a gimmick that people do to bring you in. The reality is that inner connectedness, some of it feel with themselves, you want to call it divine consciousness, whatever you wish to call it. We all have that inner intuition that we want to listen to more, and if we all did, we would have not so much need for wanting. I would say those of you who are not logged in the chat, if you want to just log in and leave a note or a comment, we greatly appreciate that. You can do that even after today. We'd love to remind everyone to subscribe if you can. And Liz had mentioned something about teaching 108 people. Those of you who are new, who don't know me, Aware Meditation Inc. is a non-profit organization, and we are embarking, COVID, a few little blocks in the way, but embarking to teach in-person meditation in large numbers to those that it's hard to get to, the underrepresented groups who happen to be at low income, and we want to do this on a global measure. So if you are dialing in from Australia or other places in the world, please feel free. Our information is all in the description there as well. We are wanting to find communities. How does it work? Well, there's a community center that likes Vedic meditation or contacts me, and I give a presentation about what it's all about, and they help coordinate and facilitate the space for us. And then we go in and we get a couple of teachers to teach people in-person course over the days, and they then have a practice for the rest of their life at no financial charge to the individuals. They may have to, answer a few questions or, be able to light the way for others, and they have a practice that they can do, which will not simply change the mood temporarily. It will not simply change your state of mind or your mindset. It will actually start to shift your consciousness, right? So there is no trying anymore. When we have to take a deep breath for someone that's bothering us and we actually sort out why they bother us so much, what happens is suddenly they don't bother us anymore because we're not bothered. And this is a practice that goes down deep, gives the nervous system 2 to 5 times deep rest. And once that body and that nervous system gets to that place of rest, that chatter in the mind starts to diminish. And when that chatter starts to diminish, guess what we hear? We hear our own intuition, our own voice, and we respond no longer from a place of fight or flight. We respond from being in the present moment, and we're able to discern when we say truth from false, our own truth. And what happens is we start to make decisions that are more in alignment with our own truth here. We have Jen said, thank you for being so brave and inspiring, Liz, and sharing your vulnerability. And Rob says, thank you for sharing the strength and your lovingness that you have and your compassion from what you've been dealing with. So we are endeavoring, we are hoping, we actually in the stages of planning the first group teaching in October now, depending on Delta variant, which is beginning to move through Los Angeles in an area of Boyle Heights, which is very low income and was primarily gang infested area of Los Angeles. And we're going to start reaching out. So Liz is putting out her feelers, and all it takes is one person who says, yeah, maybe we've got something, and we see what happens. We go with flow. There is no need to be stressed out about helping people. I don't think we're really into that. Hence, if you haven't figured out, or if you've participated in any of our events, we do fundraising through comedy and entertainment to bring joy and laughter around with all. So let me see if there are any more questions as we're getting to the at the end, and I'm checking. Thank you, Sierra Jade, for joining in. Thank you, Kimberly, for looking in on Facebook. Kat on Facebook. We want to just quickly remind you that we have on the 22nd of August online creative visualization workshop. You don't have to have learned this meditation for that to work. You can go to Eventbrite for that. The links are in the chat, or you just go to Eventbrite and look up, I don't know, Aware Meditation Inc. That might work. Okay. If you're curious about learning this particular meditation, you can contact me or contact in the email and description, and I will find a teacher that's near your location to give you an information talk. Or you can always contact Liz, who's at Beyond Thinking down in the Sydney area, who you're still in lockdown. Is that right?
Yes, we are. Yeah.
How many weeks now?
It's been 7 weeks, but we've been told now that it might go right up until November. So, yeah, kids not at school. We're only allowed to go 5 Ks away from home. No visiting anybody. So it's a lot of FaceTime. Zoom and Messenger and all of those things are just so great. We're lucky.
Right.
Yeah.
So do expect to see more live streams from our folks down under. We have September 20th is actually set up with Matt from Bondi Meditation is going to be joining us then. We are actually having a little summer break from meditations because people are out and about before the Delta variant gets too crazy here. But when it comes down to the winter, don't be surprised if that's when we start looking for to do courses down under, as it were. With that, again, thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me directly, info@Aware Meditation. I will follow up and make sure it goes to Liz. And say please subscribe if you can to the channel. We really appreciate it. And is there anything that you'd like to add, Liz?
No, I'm just very happy to have told my story. It helps. It's really good. And I've never told it publicly before, so maybe it's new for a lot of people. Yeah.
Well, I'm honored that you shared it publicly on this channel. Oh goodness, everybody always happens, isn't it? Paula always gets to starts to cry. It's not a live stream unless Paula feels like she's gonna cry, right? Okay. Woo. So anyone who's looking to do a donation, you can do that in the box down there, and we'll see what we can get going. And hopefully we will have Liz back with our other events. I want to thank you so much for joining us. This is an important topic for us to talk about, for people to be aware of. Yes. And with that, we will say thank you to everyone who joined in. Please don't be a stranger. Contact us. Check out the website. I will say Jai Gurudev to everyone. Thank you.
Bye now. Bye.